Yes. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Welcome to the Chunky Lemon podcast.
No. How they? Don't know, no.
What do you mean, no? We've got structure, we've got a name, this is a slick operation now, and I think you just need to get with the program and accept that it's a Chunky Lemon podcast.
I will never, ever get on board with Chunky Lemon. Do you know what? I went for a run first thing this morning, first time in ages, and I kept thinking about Chunky Lemon, the name, and I was just like literally waddling along. It was like one of the worst runs I've ever done. And I feel horrible now, and it gave me no momentum.
Can I ask you why you hate it so much? Like, is it because you feel insulted by it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but...
It's just like constantly digging into my brain.
It was just a throwaway, it was a throwaway insult. It just landed so sweetly. But we're all chunky lemons, mate.
Because we're boys, aren't we? Because we're boys. We just throw away the insults because we're boys,
Yeah, exactly. It's all part of that. It's all wrapped up in that sort of masculinity, mate. We
How are you, man? Are you all right, Clive? How are you?
Well, as you can see, I've got my podcast turtleneck on. So
I was going to say,
fancy.
You look very jazzy today.
I feel like you're going to be wearing all the time a turtleneck whenever you do a podcast. It's just your, like, sort of, your uniform. Not your uniform, your outfit like all the time.
Oh, a frog in my throat. Can you hear that? That's so weird.
Oh, you sound jazzy.
Swallow.
Jazzy.
You're going to cut that out. Yeah, it's like a kid getting dressed up for work. It's like, what do I think someone who has a podcast should look like? And in my head, I'm like, you should have a turtleneck. So that makes sense. That's what I wear.
I've got my sweet purple leggings on. As you can see, my purple jogging bar.
You're like 80s sort of workout freak.
Queen.
And Clive is like one skinny cigarette away from owning a jazz club.
Oh my God, I love the way they play notes when they shouldn't and no notes when they should.
Ryan, you say this, but at the end of the day, you're the one with the goddamn
Hipster.
top-nut man bun going on. What's going on? You look like you're about to start a yoga class or something.
What's that brand of beer that everyone's got the vest of? I just assume it's one of those.
Bintang or whatever it is, isn't it?
No, Chang.
Oh, Chang beer, in Thailand. Chang.
Chang?
Because he found himself.
Maybe we can turn it into some sort of segment where... Because I've got all this long hair, each week I could cut a little bit off in a different style. Or
that's going to work really well on an audio description. It's just going to be us like, his hair looks like
I got a mullet.
Real stupid today. So we're nailing the intro, fellas, by the way. I just want to say this is great because we are nailing the intro.
Yeah, we conquered it. We asked how each other was. We gave each other an insult on how we're looking.
We've kind of argued about the name. Do you know what I've got up next? Now that we're organised, the next segment is like general chatter, but I decided to call it, just so you know, what's happening on planet Chunky Lemon.
if we say it enough, it's got to stick.
Yeah.
So.
It could be just Planet Lemon. Planet Lemon sounds good. Take the chunk out.
Planet Lemon sounds more like two. What was that? Two men, one lemon, or lemon party?
Oh, Lemon Party. Lemon Party is the single most greatest website of all time. When you're in year 7,
wow,
you're trying to find yourself
a lot about
and
the word.
work out your sexuality, and you watch that, and you're like, oh shit!
Definitely don't like whatever that is.
Yeah, if you're under the age of 18 now, if you're listening, please go on. I think it's lemonparty.org.
Do you think it still exists?
Yeah, I hope so. Just think about the ad revenue it's getting as well. People are making real money off that.
I think we need a disclaimer at this point that we are in no way connected to or endorse Lemon Party.
Yes, but without getting too
we're not
political,
into what they're into.
We also don't want to be seen to not endorse it because they're just three blokes.
They're just three blokes having the best time of their lives.
Like us, actually. We're three old men, technically, in some ways.
I think just call the podcast Lemon Party.
I don't know if I can get a Twitter handle called Lemon Party.
The domain's already taken as well. We know that, so
there's already. there's already a bit of traffic there, so you know we can build an audience out of the people who go to look for lemon party. It'll be an interesting group of people, I'll tell you that.
So we're calling again. This segment's now Planet Lemon.
Welcome. No. What's happening on Planet Chunky Lemon? The free form, like, hello guys, what's going on? Bring me your stories. Tell me something funny that happened in the week.
Wow. I've been working like a dog all week, planting, bringing. I had a beautiful moment, actually, if we want to just talk about beautiful things. I was down in there's a woods where I work, and I was down in the woods. Because I took the compost heaps down there, and I had a very beautiful moment with a deer that was only about 10 meters from me. And then I went back up to my boss and said, I just saw a deer. And the first thing he did was get the shotgun out and then head down.
Deer's bad for business.
And I died inside.
Oh, man. Well, that's really brightened up my Saturday morning. Did he make a new Bambi?
He didn't. Well, by the time I got out of there before anything happened, because I just couldn't bring myself to be the reason that there is no longer.
You were the spotter.
I don't think I could watch Bambi now. Like, it's emotionally I think that's maybe why I'm an emotional cripple. Watching like those Disney films when you're like 4 or 5, and you know Bambi's mum gets capped. Do you remember? Like, she just dies.
Yeah,
she gets capped hard.
Right.
That's. I mean, don't get me wrong. Maybe you should learn about that stuff at a young age, but maybe it just scars you forever. Who knows?
Oh yeah, I watched The Lion King with my niece for the first time, and like my auntie made her. I say niece, she's my cousin actually, I just realised.
Yeah, I was
I was about to say, it's my auntie's kid, so I'm definitely her cousin. But she had to watch it to like learn about, obviously,
Mufasa.
Death. Real life shit. And it was really hard, it was so hard to watch, especially as an adult, and watching her trying to explain what happened.
Just tears streaming down your face whilst your niece or baby cousin is just like,
just shit in her pants.
Scar's the best, man. Scar's the man.
It's a bit before our time, but my brother swears, you know Watership Down, like the old cartoon.
Oh my
from,
God.
The 80s?
That is dark, man. Like, I saw that on TV.
Yeah, that is evil. Like,
I had Farthing Wood, was it? Farthing Wood? Was that
no, well, Watership Down, at least this version, it's aimed at kids, but the rabbits, who are fluffy cartoons, they get myxomatosis, which without getting too into it, is a horrendous disease that like makes rabbits blind and like really ill.
Oh, God.
And go like crazy. It's like a bit like rabies for humans.
I find it the same with all these old cartoons that are for kids. That some of them are like this might just be me, but you know the Christmas thing, the Snowman. That is a goddamn acid trip. That is
weird, man. I never liked that. I couldn't get on board.
The music,
like
it goes from like super happy to like it makes my skin crawl. Like there's moments in it that are just like, this is not Christmas. This is.
If you've
not
never seen it, go on YouTube and Snowman. It is awful. I agree. It's one of the most saddening experiences of a childhood.
Oh, the ending! It's just. I wasn't even thinking about the ending.
The little tinkling as he goes at, like the music dripping in as he's like looking around the garden for his mate, but he's fucking dead. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's good art. Because it takes you all out, you know, you're feeling strongly about it. You're like,
Merry fucking Christmas. He's dead.
But
nice.
I did have one thing in the week that I thought was, it's like a mini story, because I'm sure I know you guys are, definitely, in fact, both of you, definitely, this happens to you regularly, I would have thought. You ever get like a flashback, especially when you're like trying to fall asleep, when you just suddenly feel really embarrassed about something which happened like half a life.
I'd say that happens to me every 10 minutes.
I'm haunted by my previous youthful actions and how I regret so much of it.
Every 10 minutes something pops in there.
So this is, I'm sure, a feeling that people are pretty familiar with. The other night, I was just about to fall asleep. And this is quite innocuous, so it's not like a big, deep rabbit hole about all the terrible things TJ's done. It's just a little...
TJ.
But do you remember, Sam, you might remember, when we were at sixth form, I crashed the whole IT system for the whole
my God,
school.
yes, you did, yeah.
And this is a good little story, because I was trying to log on to a computer. At sixth form, we were however old. And... it kept on saying something like network not available. And I was with Nick Thomas. Big shout out to Nicky T. He's a legend. He's going to be very excited as well one day when this has got like 10 million listens and he's got a shout out so early on. But anyway, I was with him and he was a computer science student. And I said to him, Nick, like, it keeps on saying there's a network error. And I can see that there's this cable unplugged at the back. And he was like, oh, yeah, that's the network cable. Someone's pulled it out for some reason. Just plug it back in. So I plugged it back into the wall, I think it was. What I didn't know was this cable was actually coming from another port further down the wall. And I was plugging the network back into itself, creating an infinite loop, which crashed the computers for a school of like 1,000 people.
There's 2,400 now, so about 2,200 then. Yeah,
I didn't know what I'd done. I walked away perfectly happily because the computer still wasn't working. I was like, screw it. Probably go to the shop and get a Coke or something, a Diet Coke. But later on, I was called into the head of year's office. And he was like, I think you know what you've done. And I had no idea at this point. And they showed me some CCTV footage.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
And in the computer room, I pick up this cable. And it was a really weird out-of-body experience for me. Because you're watching yourself. You know, I don't know. I'm not being on camera
unbeknownst that
much.
you're doing something completely destructive.
Yeah. And so you see me pick up this cable, look up to where the camera is, and then plug it in.
It was intentional.
It was like, look at me do this, bitch. And then, the whole... and they had to... and eventually, because, I was a good boy, really, they accepted that I hadn't done it intentionally, but I had caused... I'd caused, loads of teachers to lose their work. I'd crashed all the computers in the school. So I don't think there was any other formal punishment apart from the fact that they made me go round and apologise to 6 or 7 different teachers who'd been most affected by the crash. Then I had to apologise to the IT guy who was obviously a bit of a weird little gremlin.
Oh, they always were.
And he was, this.
Wait, that's our main demographic, so we should be quite nice.
Sorry, fellas. IT workers are great. I want to be one. But
I love them.
I went to apologise to him. Bear in mind, he's a fully grown man. He was just sulking. And I was just like, I'm very sorry. I didn't know what I was doing. And he was just like, why? Why did you do it?
Why?
And I probably caused him a significant amount of difficulty. So I get it. But but that's my story. So I was in bed and I was just suddenly a bit sweaty because I was thinking about how stupid that was. And there you go.
Regretful.
Nice.
No. Don't touch my servers. No. Don't touch my servers. No. All my stuff is on there. I've got my favourite Ethernet cable and everything. But please, God, no. Don't touch my servers. They're my babies.
So last night this is a good part of my week. We one day a week we always get something that we're allowed to eat wherever we want, called cheat day, basically. Yeah,
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah. What do you reckon I had? It wasn't Chinese.
It wasn't Chinese.
It wasn't Chinese.
Pizza, Fish and chips.
Yeah, fish and chips, right?
Yeah.
But get this right. Right. You've got. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to try and work out my whole order. Okay. I will say yes and no. You just go through all the items that you think I got just for me.
Jumbo battered sausage.
What? That's one of them.
Of course.
Go for
That's
it.
good, of course.
You have
Large
to.
chips. You got a large portion of chips.
That's
there,
another one. Yep. There was 3 more things. Nope.
Savoy.
No.
Oi, oi, Savoy. I love Savoy.
Oh, they're wronging, aren't they?
Podcast name, Oi, oi, Savoy.
Oi, Savoy. And keep going.
Beef fritter? No, you said close.
Oh, close. That is very close.
Did you get one of the things that wasn't fish from a fish and chip bar? Because that's always bad.
It's just weird matter that they put in batter. You're like, yeah.
Get this, right?
Right.
Get this.
Okay.
I had
matter.
a large chips, a large fish, cod,
And
a large curry sauce,
Oh,
a large jumbo battered sausage, and get this, a large. Well, I say large. It was large. It was. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called a pineapple fritter. Ever heard of that?
Pineapple fritter. You
Mate,
can
I've
batter
never.
anything, man.
Mate, you can batter anything. I've just sent it to you now. Have a look at this. Have a look at this picture that I've just shown you now. Oh my god! Look at that bad boy. They've basically got pineapples. They cut the inside, and they've deep fried 2 of them for me.
damn.
That was dessert.
What do you reckon? 4 hours each off your life? Each one?
At least maybe a day.
Yeah, that's
basically
a third of a day. God.
Yeah,
But
so I
worth
panicked.
Worth
It was really good. It was such a lovely dessert, but I literally last night I was trying to go to bed and my mouth was so dry. I was going. But get this right. This is the worst bit. I get a message from my old housemates in Bristol because I used to live in Bristol, and they had a little
boy.
Bristol boy. I love it there. I do, and they had a little birthday party in their house, obviously because one of the housemates' birthday. And they were singing.
It wasn't Ryan,
Boys,
was it?
No, it wasn't.
Sorry,
It wasn't.
I can only handle like a few people in my universe, so I thought it was the same person.
Anyway, so like they showed me a video of them all dancing. Get this, it's been about nearly a year since I've moved out, and they all look exactly the same. Now it's lockdown, obviously. I've put on 10 kilos in lockdown, right? 10 kilos.
No wonder
bad,
you
isn't it?
don't like chunky lemon.
But get this right, they say with that, they're dancing away and they look exactly the same as when I left them, all slim and trim, and they're like doing something about it. So I wake up this morning, like at 6, obviously, as I messaged you, and I was panicking, I was proper panicking, like, shit, they look good, and I am just obviously just 10 kilos heavier. So I've obviously gone for a run.
It's almost a stone, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty big, mate. Pretty big. But get this right, I went for a run this morning, like 6:30 or 7 o'clock, and it's obviously Saturday. And I was the youngest person outside by about, I would say, 30 years at least. 35 years, possibly, right? But get this is the weird bit, right? People look at you when you're obviously going for a run, and they're like, oh yeah, good going, nice work. But when it's their time, right, you'll run outside, and they look at you like, oi, it's 7 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday morning. This is our fucking time, all right? This is youth don't come out,
people,
you know? Yeah, all the old people, like, you shouldn't be outside, you know, this is our time, you know? So I had a lot of that sort of, what's the word for that? Sort of like burden on my face, basically. It felt
You
like.
felt like that was pushing against you. All the old
Like
people looking at you.
universal hatred.
You shouldn't be out here, you young'uns.
They like walk around
You
you.
fancy young
Or
types.
they like try and like avoid you because you're running, obviously exhaling the hell. I was like, like this, and they're like,
Spitting
your
fritter
goddamn
everywhere.
COVID like germs away from me. They've all got the vaccine now, so they should be fine. But they're all scared. But
Yeah, they're
so
probably
that was
looking
my
at you like, he probably eats avocado for breakfast as well. Never
He's a
done a hard
scumbag, he
day's
is.
work in his life.
You come here with your balls all shiny.
He don't pay much tax, he don't. I'm sure of it. He don't pay much. The youth don't, do they?
We found out what's happening on Planet Chunky Lemon now.
And it,
Yeah.
Chunky lemon.
A deer got shot, Clive broke an IT system, and Sam was universally hated.
Yeah. And I ate a big pineapple fritter, and it was lovely. Yeah.
That you put in batter. Weird matter that you put in batter. Come on, weird matter that you put in batter. Weird matter that you put in batter. Weird matter that you put in batter. Come on.
Hello, planet Earth.
It's the international acclaimed favourite. It is
Clive's compliments. Right.
Oh, that was awful.
Yeah, you'll be fucking awful in a minute, mate. Are you ready?
Yeah,
I'm just
we're
going to
ready.
dive straight in. Do you want me to
Bring
do
it on.
alternate? Or shall I do all the insults and all the compliments? Tell me.
Alternate it.
Alternate it, right. Clive's compliments.
I can't deal with all of it in once.
Sam, look at me. My first insult
looking
for
at
you
you.
is you are the FYI man.
That's correct.
Yeah, that is an insult, and you
It's
know
an
why
insult.
it's
Oh,
an
I
insult.
think, yeah.
So basically, for anyone that doesn't know, well, obviously everybody doesn't know, obviously, because it's so fucking niche, right?
Nobody knows it.
So get this right. Let me explain. When we play a game called Warzone, very famous game called Warzone, and it's brought us all close together because we're all so far apart sometimes, and we should chat all the time. But when anything happens in the game, like there's someone running across, or there's a car coming, or someone shooting at us, or there's a free gun or whatever, I say, FYI, there's a person coming. FYI, there's a car over there. FYI, there's a gun over there. FYI, the gas is coming. FYI, we gotta get out of it. And they just all rinse me. I'm saying FYI every single time, and I can deal with it. I can deal with it.
It's such a mental tick, though. Like, it's just obviously loaded in your brain when you're playing that game, and everything you see or do, you're like, FYI, FYI.
I don't know why. I do it, but FYI.
That's all right. So that's one insult for you.
Thanks, man.
And then to balance it out, I'll give Ryan his first compliment.
Oh, thank you.
Ryan, as far as I know, you have all 10 of your toes, then I think that's great, man. I think that's really admirable. So well done on that. Like, good effort.
Thank you very much. I tell you what, though, speaking of toes and joints, I'm definitely getting arthritis in my joint, in my toes and my fingers. From all
What a
the
fucking
constant
buzzkill,
writing.
man.
I know. We'll cut that.
I've got a degenerative disease.
Yeah, it's coming. We'll
Oh,
cut
man.
that.
100%. Like, at times when I've been outside working a lot, my fingers, like when you're doing a lot in the real cold, and yeah, you can feel the pain getting into like your knuckles and stuff, and you're just like, they ain't ever going to be the same again.
They ain't happening.
But right, so everyone's happy. We've had first insult, first compliment. Hit.
We've
Right.
all laughed. That's
Are
fine.
you ready for the second insult, Sam?
Hit me hard, brother. I'm scared.
You are a spill.
I don't know what that is,
You're a
Clive.
spill,
What is
man.
that?
You're
What
a
is
spill.
What, a spill of water? A spill of oil?
Oh yeah, but they're building. The third one I think is quite good. So I'm just
Spill?
You're a spill,
What, I
like a
spill
spilt
stuff?
drink. Yeah, you're a spill.
Oh.
You're
You're a
just going to
waste.
die on the floor.
You're a splash
It's
on
just
the floor.
evaporate.
Alive.
You're basically saying I've fallen over. I'm just going to evaporate into the
Nothingness.
universe's. Yeah, into
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, whereas entropy comes zero. Nothing's worth anything anymore.
See,
That's deep.
the insult may be weak, but your powerful brain
I
like
have a lot of
extrapolates it
fucking
into something
demons, my
bad.
friend.
You're like,
I have a lot of demons. I hate being a scientist. I hate like knowing science because it's like people go, oh, it's great to know. No, it's not. It's literally not worth knowing anything. Ignorance is bliss. I
That
honestly
one,
hate it.
I can safely say that one stang. Like that one went in.
wow, what he,
Yeah,
what he
he's
took
talking
from
about
it.
his
What he took
demons.
from it.
Do you know what? That really triggered me. Sorry, yeah. I'm really sorry. That
Right.
triggered me
Well,
really hard.
just to ease
Thanks,
away
man.
from that darkness for the minute, we'll give Ryan his next compliment. Ryan, most of the time when you eat and drink, it stays in your mouth. And I think, that's real cool. Like that most of the time it stays in.
I think if you can't
his
do
fucking
that,
body
then
functions.
if you're unable to eat without fucking getting it all over the floor, you shouldn't be a human being.
Well, I mean, let's not get too cocky, Ryan. I said most of the time. I've seen it fall out, man.
Yeah.
Mostly at 2 a.m. in Macca's, probably, as I'm trying to get my point
long live
across
Macca's.
with my point-in nugget.
You're pointing nugget.
Now listen here, boy. I got a point to make. Hey, Leroy, get me my point nugget. while I point my chicken at you.
Right, and then this is the one. I'm pretty proud of this one. The other two, you could say the other two insults were like warm-ups. Although the second one, at first the riders week actually seemed to hit home quite hard. So Sam, I'm starting to feel bad.
He's still
Maybe next
boiling
time
up
we
from
don't
the
do
last one.
insults. Next time, no insults. Next time, just
No,
love.
I'm cool with it. I am cool with it.
Right.
He
you ready?
says,
in my hands, but I'm cool with
staring
it.
into himself.
This is my final insult for you
go on.
this episode.
Yeah, go on.
You are a crumb guzzler.
Such a fucking... Beat that out.
Are you happy with that?
I get it, because I do. Yeah, it makes sense.
You guzzle crumbs.
I think we need to move on because he's looking real.
Nah, I'm cool. That
You
is,
can hear it.
Yeah,
Like,
it is what it is,
goes
isn't
up
it?
an octave. And it's like,
It is what it is.
it is
It is
what it is.
You
is what it
fucking
is.
crumb guzzler.
Yeah, do you like that? That's got flavour though, right? That's got.
So I'm a little confused about the concept of a crumb. A crumb.
I would say crumb
guzzler.
guzzler is someone, from what I've interpreted it as, is someone that eats their food very quickly. There's loads of crumbs, and they eat the crumbs as much and as quickly and as intense as the actual meal's worth. To make
Best part
sure
of the
that
meal.
he's got everything. Yeah.
That's sort of what I'm getting at, because like you've eaten the main food, and then the crumbs are wherever they are, and
They're
you're
just-
still so hungry that you've
I promise you this, right? By the
guzzling them
end,
down.
by the end of episode 200, okay,
You're
I'm
gonna
have a
like
six-pack.
shame me with your
I
ripped
promise.
body.
Episode 200, I'm gonna rip, and then Chunky Lemon's gonna just be right at you, brother. It's gonna be right at you.
Mate, I've never said that I'm not a chunky lemon. I just want to say that, like, I'm a chunky lemon. I'm fat.
Well, Ryan's not one, so it ain't him, is it? Let's conclude.
Ryan, your final compliment, mate.
Oh, I get one more.
One more. You are really good at smoking.
Oh,
He's a master of that. He sucks them down.
Jesus.
No breathing.
Sweet
between
lady nicotine.
I've just found out it hurts way more when I get. I get something. Do you know what? It's fine when I get it. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But when he gets compliment next door, it actually feels way worse. I can't explain it.
I'm
It's
not
really
sure
hard.
I'm taking that as a compliment, to be honest. For anyone listening, just for my sense of pride alone, I'd like to say that I don't just smoke cigarettes all the time, but it's
crack
more
as
of
well.
it's a little treat. And I used to be way worse than I
Oh,
am
you were
now.
horrific.
Like there was a time when even if it wasn't a night out, it was just let's go to the beach and go swimming. Oh, I'll get a 20-gram pack. Of that.
Yes.
You love a rollie.
Oh, the
But yeah.
skinny cigarette. Nothing goes down better than a skinny
Mentals,
cigarette. Oh,
And nice, refreshing cigarette. Oh, maybe we could get sponsored by a cigarette.
Marlboro.
Are they allowed to do advertisements anymore, or just like nothing on any media? You're
Don't
just
worry,
not allowed to say?
I've got us sorted with the smoking adverts. That's awesome.
Nothing like the taste of TJ's high tar cigarettes down in your lungs. You want a frog in your throat? Well, these babies will put a goddamn buffalo in it. Nothing like that sweet, husky feeling like you've eaten a bowl of tarmac for breakfast. That's TJ's high tar cigarettes. Go on, try some today.
Are we going to get? Are our 37 listeners going to have to listen to some sort of like anti-smoking message before they're allowed to hear our podcast?
We should probably say that, but I'm not going to because we're fucking
We're
against
cool.
man. We're fucking cool. Yeah, we're cool, brother.
If it looks cool, do it.
It is cool.
Thanks for listening. We'll be right back.
I found myself traveling, and here are my stories. Far out. Hi, and welcome back to Sam's traveling. Found himself traveling because he found some stuff.
Sexy.
So basically, last time we left off. Me and Clive had just finished in Paris, and we'd all been mugged. Blah blah blah.
Paddy.
Okay, we got a train. We got a train to Amsterdam the next day. So,
Yeah.
So Clive, I don't know if you noticed this, but I took about 350 photos the entire time I went travelling around Europe, right? Only 12 of which were in Amsterdam. So it sort of explains what we did. Okay.
Too much to do.
Yeah, pretty much. So the pic before was we were in Belgium waiting for the train to get to Amsterdam. Okay. The next picture that I had, because I was looking through my photos, is Clive smoking the biggest blunt I've ever seen in my entire time. And get this, right? Get this. He had sunglasses on while he was still inside in a cafe.
The only way to do it.
18 years old.
And are you sure it was Clive and not TJ?
It might be
really
TJ.
sure it's
Do you know what? You or TJ was wearing sunglasses. I couldn't tell you who it
I'd
was.
take that one. That was me. TJ was next to me doing the same thing. But
TJ
it
took the
wasn't.
photo.
I remember buying a blunt then. It was called the American Dream. And I was like, ooh, this is expensive. Why is it called the American Dream? He's like, there's zero tobacco. I was like, oh, I'm having that. I don't want to smoke tobacco. So yeah. And I basically, this is my bullet points I put. We did very little other than smoke and buy €1 Maccas every single day that we were there for. All right. However, on one night, we were down the hostel bar downstairs with Callie and TJ. So us four together.
Us four together, living life. And we're having a few beers, and then out comes TJ, I believe it was, brings out this thing called, a little box called Dolphin's Delight. That was called. I couldn't remember. But.
Yeah, Dolphin's Delight. Got a photo of it as well. Now, for anybody that doesn't know what Dolphin's Delight was, how can I put this without it coming across really bad? It was some sort of fungi that is a key to the imaginational world in your brain.
It's an enhancer. An enhancement.
Yeah. It's magic mushrooms, basically, for anybody else that doesn't know.
Well, that's out there.
Basically, TJ, Clive, or Callie, you can pick who. There was two of them that did it, right? They both ate these magic mushrooms, obviously. Went for it. Ate the whole box, by the way. And I remember being in the shop with you guys, and they were like, yeah, these are real strong. Anyway, so I remember you guys going, oh, these taste really bad. But you kept chewing through it, you got there. And then we were having a couple of pints, still carrying on like nothing had happened. And then all of a sudden, it was like a clip.
Can I tell my memory of that? Because it's very specific. And I don't know if you exactly remember this.
Should I say what happens first? I'll say what happens first. All three of them, you can pick which two it was. They just had uncontrollable laughter. Like, it was and I've got a picture of it as well. It was uncontrollable laughter. I've never seen. It's like someone, like a ghost, was tickling you, and you just couldn't stop it. It was just like you were being tortured to laugh. It was unreal.
There was a very specific moment. So we were eating them. By the way, this might come across. We're pretty straight edge, really, aren't we? Which is why this is funny.
Yeah, but you're in Amsterdam.
We're not.
Yeah, I think if you say
it was legal.
Amsterdam.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to say it's what makes it more funny is that we are pretty straight edge. And then
we're nice guys.
We did some,
not bad.
Some exploring. And
TJ.
So we were eating them in the hostel room. And then we sat around for like 20 minutes and did the classic beginner's mistake of just like, it's just not working. So we were like, screw mushrooms. We'll just go out and we'll buy some more weed or something. So we left the hostel. We didn't get that far, don't worry.
Okay.
And we were walking down the street in the daylight still. And I looked at Callum. And I just remember looking at him in the street, like this one very clear instance, and just his pupils were the size of like tea saucers, man. It was ridiculous. And I just remember literally looking at him and pointing and laughing and being like, your pupils enormous. And he looked back and started giggling and was like, so yours. And then we walked back to the hostel, and I guess that's when that ghost started tickling us.
Yeah, honestly, it was unreal. Thank you for adding that in, because I forgot about that. That's amazing. And then the next bit I remember was you were like putting your hand into my chest and just being really like completely fascinated by it and just like shocked. I was like, whoa, are you right, man? Why are you touching me? And you said, dude, you're see-through.
That is like the most stereotypical true story.
I remember it wasn't that he was completely see-through, but it was like he was tinted. Like it was like looking through a window.
Sepia-toned.
Yeah, like you had like a light red t-shirt on, I think.
That was
I might
right,
be
yeah,
wrong
yeah.
about that, but and because it was like light red, it just seemed like it was glowing. I don't know. I do remember thinking,
Right. Unreal. Yeah, you both barely could breathe. Like you both barely could breathe because of the laugh. Anyway, so I think it was Callum first. Callum was like, I need to go to the toilet after, when you were both laughing. So he went to the toilet upstairs in the hostel because the bar was downstairs. And about 3 minutes later, you're like, oh, I need to go as well. And I was like, oh, maybe they're just both shitting themselves because the room or something like that. And then you both went. And I waited for about 10 minutes, I reckon. And you both didn't come back. And I was like, oh, shit, we're in trouble. Where have they gone? Something's happened. I literally walked upstairs. And in the corridor was a body. I was like, oh, my God. And I look over. And it was TJ. I was about to say it was. It was, well, it's up to you, Clive. Oh, I've already said
yeah,
it.
mate, it's all right. That's their story. TJ was there, but I'm not too worried about this story.
So Clive was on the floor, and he was just laughing so much. It was just insane. I thought it was scary. But he was opening this door very ajar, very, very sensitively as well. And he was laughing so much. And it was creaking just ever so slightly. And I said to him, dude, why are you laughing? What's going on? He was like, this door is Andy Crick.
Andy Crick, yeah. So that's going to be a very niche reference.
Such a niche
But
reference.
to sum it up quickly, we had a friend, Andy, another big shout out, because obviously he's going to be listening to us in Australia, who used to always like mock people by going like, door, like when you were making a point or something, he'd be like, oh, he'd make like that noise. And I just remember we were convinced that this door creaking on its hinges I was just hearing his voice going, oh.
Honestly, that was bad. That was. So here I go. Here's my next bit. After I checked up on you, I went and saw Callum, who was in the toilet. As he actually said, he went to the toilet. He was still in there when I found him. And I could hear him shouting outside the door. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? So I opened the toilet, and he's proper pointing and shouting in this toilet cubicle that was open. But guess what? No one was in there, right? And I was like, who's he having a go at? I said, oh, you're right, man. What's going on? And he said, yeah, this guy's giving me proper grief. I said, who are you talking to? Like, he's proper pointing at him, like, from me, and he's going, that guy there is giving me proper grief. And I was like, what, who are you talking to? He said, this Chinese man in the toilet. He's proper giving me grief. And I was like, what? That's a toilet. It's like, it's open. No, he said, no, it's a Chinese man in there. He's being proper racist to me. So I was like, oh my God. This is when it gets even madder, because I said, there's no one there. And I think he sort of realised that he was...
stepping back from it, yeah.
He stepped back from it. But when he stepped back, he turned and looked in the mirror just to double check himself. And then, like, his face dropped from being angry to, like, scared, it was weird. And he kept putting his hands on his face, and then he looked at his hands. He went, oh my God, I've got hooves for hands. And he kept putting his his hands, clawed, and he's putting them on his face. And he's getting really upset because all he could feel was like these hooves just scratching against his face. And he just couldn't deal with it. And I was like, oh my God, he's in a world. Like, because on one side I had Clive, who was having the best trip of his goddamn life. And Callum, who was literally in a world of pain.
Callum really turned, because he was laughing with me before. And then at a certain point, I just gradually stopped laughing, but was sort of back to normal.
Just chill, yeah.
But he went from having the funnest... So this was a little cautionary tale. He went from having like the funnest like hour or so of his life to spending the next 3 or 4 hours in his own little
world of darkness.
World of darkness, yeah. He did not have a good second half, did he?
This will sound great because basically I took a little break and I went for a walk and I went down the red light district.
Oh shit!
This is when it gets a little bit saucy. Not that saucy.
Weirdest experience of my life walking down that place.
It is. And this is exactly what I put. I put. Obviously, if anybody doesn't know, if you walk down at night time, you go through these bollards, it's red lights, and it's just very dark and it's very cobbled, so you can hear the cobbles. But get this, it's so quiet, and you can just hear everybody's cobbled footsteps. This is what really freaked me out.
Yeah,
I was
because
spinning, I had a joint. Well, they're there for one thing.
Everyone is kind of like
one thing.
In stunned silence. I think the tourists go there, and it is just like it's so strange.
It's a different world, isn't it? It felt like Harry Potter meets Armageddon / sort of the end of the world sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, it was odd. Anyway, and then the thing I noticed as well was like every single person outside tourists was just single individual, like 40 to 50-year-old bold
bleak,
men, and it was
shuffling along.
fucking bleak. Yeah, basically, I went back to the hostel afterwards because I got a proper downer from it, and I got into the hostel room, and Callum was wrapped up in this big giant duvet, and he was like being protected from it. And the next 3 bits was what summed up basically was he said the rain outside is bullets from the sky. That is literally what he said. Right, I was like, shit, you're in trouble, man. You're in trouble. And this is the next bit. There's on the bottom of his bunk bed, there was loads of like holes where the grate of the grater of the bed, and because the bed sheets were all yellow, they looked like little yellow dots that he could see. And he put his fingers through it, and he was getting really upset. And I was like, "Oh, you're right, man." He's like, "Every single time I'm doing this, I'm destroying a galaxy, and billions of people's lives are being destroyed and killed by me." And I was like, "Oh my fucking god, this is like the worst thing in the world."
This is a concept album.
Honestly, it's scary. And he just kept. He said the thing is, he said, "I just can't stop," and he just kept putting his fingers in these holes and killing all these galaxies, blowing them up basically with his fingers. And then my last little bit here I put was the next day. Callie didn't speak for the entire next day.
Oh, that was so good. Can I elaborate on that? Because we got
once in a blue moon.
we got on a train. Well, actually, can I tell the whole sort of post that night? So that was our last night in Amsterdam. We were only there for 2 nights, and we were getting a really early train to Berlin in the morning. So that night in the hostel, after all the shenanigans, and we were sort of just monging in our beds, but we only had a few hours before we were supposed to be on the train. And just to sum up, so I remember about 4 a.m, just before we had to get up, I could hear a British voice, you can tell the accent from a mile off, running around in the street below us. Literally, and I remember this forever because we were on the come down as well, and he was running up the street screaming about like someone trying to steal his soul or some mental stuff. And it was so bleak, it was so dark, and you could hear like one of his mates chasing after him shouting like, "It's gonna be all right," and he was just like he was just like, and we had our own casualty. Obviously Callum was in a pretty bleak place.
Callum was our casualty.
So we got up in the dark still, walked back through Amsterdam, like through the green light district. And I just remember feeling very young all of a sudden because I was surrounded by like all these leering old men going to the red light district, all these people off their tits on drugs. And the train station at Amsterdam is this huge, like gothic
massive
building.
Yeah.
And I just remember feeling like I was out of my depth. I was like, I just want to get out of Amsterdam as quick as I can.
Honestly.
We got on this train and me and Sam sat together. There weren't too many people on it at first, but it was going all the way from Amsterdam right across Germany to Berlin. And we sat in the seats of these lovely old like German ladies.
Yeah,
like they were
that's
grouped
right.
together. And so there were like 8 of them and we sat in 2 of their seats. So they sort of joined us, and the other 2 ladies were like really nice about it, and they were like,
They chatted to
you
us,
just
didn't
stay
they?
there."
Yeah.
And because I think they could tell we'd had a rough weekend. And
We were
obviously
wearing
their
our
English was
Europa Invictus
impeccable.
tops.
And they were just really nice. But Callum had sat separately from us when the carriage was quieter. And
That's
he was
right.
like wrapped up in his hoodie. just looked like death for the whole time. It was like an 8-hour journey, and he
it was so long.
was snotting and dribbling and crying. I don't know what
That
was
was it.
going
His
on.
body was just excreting so many fluids. He just wasn't doing a thing about it.
And the ticket collectors genuinely pointed at him and laughed because they knew. They like walked up and there were two guys, and it's Germany, so they were in like a uniform. They're pretty big blokes, and they were just like. Like literally, and then like, oh, too much doobie, and then walked off.
I think Amsterdam is a one weekend thing. I think I went. I think I was there for 3 days,
100%.
and
2 days
much.
is
Just
good.
too
2 days
much.
is good.
I mean-
in and out. 2-minute adventure.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Dorset.
We all love drinking tractor wine, as long as you ain't from Devon. We will all get along just fine, and you'll feel like you're in heaven. Dolph's the mines. Oi.
Right, guys, I've just got to get this out of the way because the Dolph guys were back in touch again, and they said they'd, and I quote, they said they'd throw me in the front of a combine harvester if I didn't read out their demands.
They sound
So I'm just
stereotypically
gonna-
Dorset.
Nasty.
Yeah, they're nasty fellas, mate. Well, not nasty, but they've got a
savage.
dream and they go to any lengths to realise it. So this is Dolph, of course, which is the Dorset Liberation Front. And what they want me to do is read out their 4 demands for the British government. So, guys, this isn't funny. The first couple are just dead serious.
They sound just weird, mate. They sound weird.
Mate,
Good
they're freedom fighters. They're freedom fighters. So I'm just going to get them out. Right, ready?
Yeah,
Okay,
go
let's
for
go.
it.
I feel quite nervous though because I feel like the eyes of a nation are upon me. So it's quite
Oh,
nervous.
God.
time.
I'm nervous for you.
Right. Demand number 1.
Here we go.
The UK to immediately recognise Dorset as a sovereign country and DIM as the interim government until elections can be held.
Oh, that sounds so intense. That's number 1.
Number 2. Guys, come on, they're going to throw me in a combine harvester if you don't let me get these out.
Jesus.
Number 2. The immediate return of the occupied territories of Bournemouth, Poole and Christchurch.
What?
Number 3. The immediate withdrawal of the British Army from occupation sites such as Bovington, Blandford and Poole.
Oh, my God.
And number 4.
What's funny about this is that it is not funny.
We're giving them a voice and they don't need a voice.
It's
Number
just
4. The handover of Simon Pegg and Billy Bragg to be tried for crimes against the people of
Oh,
Dorset.
my God.
Guys, they hate Billy Bragg and Simon
Do
Pegg.
they?
They're yeah. Apparently, Hot Fuzz they think is like a hate crime.
Really?
That's why they want Simon Pegg. This is a little warning for Simon Pegg as well. Not a threat. I'm telling him he needs to look after his personal security.
Keep an eye on Nick Frost as well. Christ.
Yeah, and Billy Bragg, they hate Billy Bragg.
I can imagine that. Be fair, a lot of people do, to be fair, don't they?
Yeah, they want him gone. They're gonna try.
I think
him.
everyone wants Billy Bragg gone. I'll
Also,
be perfectly
that,
honest.
for anybody that's under the age of 25, that's going to be pretty damn niche.
Yeah, no one.
Mate,
no one.
that's our flavour though. Niche is our flavour. We are the Neapolitan ice cream of podcasts. But that's their demands, and that's read out now. So that's just established. You know what they're trying to do.
You've given them a podium, you've given them a stage, you've given them an audience, and you've done too much for them. If they want to do it enough, they should have done it themselves.
Yeah, but this is what I had to do. So they tell me some more of their stories.
Oh, really?
And like I said,
Right.
they've got some skit stuff going on with like Bitcoin, mate. Their cyber division is. Have I not told you about their cyber division?
No.
They've got a cyber division, mate, and they are doing some crazy shit with Bitcoin down in Dorset. I'm telling you, mate.
Just imagining an old shed full of servers.
Farming is high tech these days, guys, and I don't think you even know.
The old virtual farming.
Mate, every cow's got its own like personal chip. I'm telling you, it's fucking
Cows
crazy.
with solar panels.
But that's it. We can move forward. Now they've got an audience, and all 37 of our listeners, I hope you take them seriously, and I hope you write to your MP or something and ask for our
You
independence.
gave him an inch, and there, I promise you, will take a fucking mile.
That's a very Dorset saying, isn't it? He gave him an inch and he took a mile. Outro?
And that's the end of the brilliant show. We have no name of, no idea what it's about, and it's Chunky. It's your lost boys. We'll work it out. We'll argue after this.
Bye. See ya. See you guys.